Hello everybody and welcome to the Panthers Den here at Liberty Hill High School. We are just about ready to go here. My name is Adam Mueller. Thanks for joining us tonight on Vype Live. Getting set here as the Liberty Hill Runnin' Panthers host the visiting Lockhart Lions. It'll be the Panthers' second district game this season against the Lions. Already faced the Leander Lions in the first game of district play. That was all the way before Christmas, December 20th. Sort of strange playing that one district game right beforehand. We're ready to go. As we said, third game of district season, first at home. And we have a nice home crowd tonight. You can just see across the way from us. Always a good crowd here at the Panthers Den. Liberty Hill faithful just about ready to go. And we should have national anthem and lineups for you shortly. The Panthers will be in that home white with the purple trim. And I believe it's purple numbers, but we will see. They still have those dark warm-ups on. So we'll find out. Definitely going to be some gold in there somewhere. As Liberty Hill JV team came out with the victory, big victory over the Lions JV. Nice, cool January evening here in the Austin area. Of course, we all are in Liberty Hill, so just northwest of downtown Austin. Again, my name is Adam Mueller, and this is a District 25 5A matchup between these Panthers and the Lions. Of course, last season, these teams actually did not play. We talked last week that Lehman, the Lobos, were actually in District 26 5A and didn't play the Panthers. And these Lions, as the Panthers head off the floor, get their warm-ups off. These Lions actually in District 17 5A last season. So again, a team that Liberty Hill did not see. Both teams coming off the court here. As we look over, you can see the Panthers faithful over there. Cheerleaders ready to go. Beautiful facility here at Liberty Hill High School. Almost feels like a college facility, to be honest with you. So we've got these two sets of seats that are raised above the floor. We are pretty high up here on this away side, looking across the court. So we just get set to go here. We might have a slightly later start than the 7 o'clock. Our clock here, it still shows about a minute and a half of pregame to go. Players, again, outside that glass door out there. Just not quite sure what we're waiting on here. While we're waiting, we can take a second to thank the Panthers sponsors: Liberty Hill Pediatrics, J&K Welding, Deluxe Garages, Globe Theater, and Gage and Cade Construction. Thank you for your support and your sponsorship of the Runnin' Panthers. These Panthers that are on a bit of a hot streak here as the players come out. Looks like they're coming out with family members out of that corner. Across the court, they will line up, face that home crowd tonight. And just It's actually Teacher Appreciation Night tonight at Liberty Hill High School, so we'll have a little moment for the teachers. All right, so each player had their favorite teacher out there on the court, and a nice moment for the crowd to give them some applause. Nice little gesture there from the players, and we should just be about ready for starting lineups here. We'll see. We will jump right into anthems. We'll go into the national anthem here. Alrighty, we are ready for lineups here at the Panthers Den. See if Coach Boren's going with that starting lineup now that we've seen a couple times in a row. Lions. Darion Loggins, the sophomore guard, 5'10". Jacob Salas, another sophomore, 6'5", forward for the Lions. Brady Stevenson, the 6'6" senior. There's your senior. Travion Hopkins, 6'2" senior. And finally, number 12, Nolan Helms, another senior, 6'1". And that'll cap off that lineup. We'll move to the Panthers. Toby Ryman in there, defensive beast, last time against the Lobos. Trayvon Williams has contributed a lot. That's Paul Madera, number 5, checking in. Aaron Hurst, he can do a lot of things, fills up the stat sheet usually. And of course, Gunter Daniels in there listed as a guard, but we know him to be a 6'6" point guard, and that is the lineup we probably expected from Coach Boren. As we're just about set, a few minutes after the normal start. Of course, like I said earlier, it was Teacher Appreciation Night, so all the Liberty Hill players came out with their favorite teachers. That was a nice moment there. So again, we'll just cover that starting lineups. Madera, Hurst, Daniels, Ryman, and Williams for the Panthers. And it's Loggins, Helms, Hopkins, Salas, and Stevenson for the Lions. So we're just about ready to go here. Liberty Hill versus Lockhart, the two L's locking horns. Of course, we've seen a lot of L's so far in district. Leander, Lehman, but we are set. And there's either player made contact, so it's actually an invalid jump ball. It's Daniels in there against Salas, and that time won by the Panthers. So here's the big fella at the top. We will see. It looks like another zone from the Lions. Liberty Hill's faced a lot of that early this season. Hurst turns around with the jumper. Williams was looking for Madera, and now Lockhart's going to push it, and the foul will be called over the back, I believe, on Brady Stevenson. It was a good push by Darion Loggins. Couldn't finish, though. Didn't get the foul call either. So an early foul on Brady Stevenson. We'll monitor that. He is the big fella down low for the Lions. Here comes Daniels across half court. It very extended, almost like a box and one is what the Lions are running. They're pressuring Daniels at the top. Let's see if they come out as hard on Madera. Not quite as hard on Madera. See him drop back there. Swings to Ryman, who made a nice little move, and the lefty. So beautiful. I think some defenses have trouble with that. And the ball thrown right to Madera, who puts it in. 4-0 early lead. And this is this press, and sort of a strange way to break it for the Lions. And travel called on Salas, who I think tripped over his own man. I think he tripped over Nolan Helms. Interesting strategy for the Lions there. They're almost trying to put a line of ball handlers behind the press, and that's a beautiful pass from Daniels to Ryman. Maybe had the and one there, 6-0, and all of a sudden the advantage for the Panthers. Here's the guard. Loggins gets it across. He looks to be the primary ball handler early for this team. This is Hopkins now at the top. Almost threw it away. Helms has got it. Loggins on the wing to Hopkins. Here's that 2-3. It's Stevenson now low. Nice pass to Salas. Couldn't finish. And that time Williams got the block. And nice finish there by Hopkins. 6-2. Looks like the Lions won't come out in any sort of press. Look how Hopkins comes right up on Daniels. They do not want him to demonstrate the offense. Good looking shot there from Hurst. Couldn't get it to go. Aaron Hurst certainly not afraid to shoot early on, and I think really gets his team in a nice rhythm. And Coach Javier Torres for the Lions has called a timeout here. And boy, that press from the Panthers really gets teams all out of sorts, especially if you don't have an elder statesman or upperclassman there to handle the ball. We saw how the freshman guards, not just underclassmen, but freshman guards of the Lehman Lobos struggled against the press early on. Certainly takes a certain amount of adjustment. You would think that Coach Torres for the Lions has somewhat prepared his team for it. Looks like they had a set ready, but when Coach Warren gets his guys in that press, it's really hard to actually face in game. Loggins has gotten himself a lot of trouble here, just gets it to Hopkins. A one-handed pass to Helms. Stevenson powers up and does get the foul call. 6-2 early advantage for the Panthers, 5:39 first quarter. And it is Brady Stevenson, 6'6", senior forward, not able to hit the first free throw. Foul was called on, well, it's showing 25, but I don't think that's correct. Well, no, it is. Ray Avery's in the game. Apologies, miss a mass sub there by Coach Boren. Out, this is Luke Landy at the top. So it was one of the 4-for-4 subs. JT Peterson also in the game, one of the stars of Tuesday's matchup against the Lobos. Jackson Scott as well. And Scott from the high post, not able to go through the hands of Alliance players, and that's a nice pass. I think we've got a travel called. So Peterson looking for Daniels, who traveled right there on the baseline. It is Peterson, Landy, and that one's tipped there by Ray Avery. He's the fourth player who checked into the game. Here's Loggins, who tried to finish, could not. Daniels down the floor, and JT Peterson with a really nice finish. 8-2, and they were going to go long to Stevenson. Also checked in Ashton Dickens for the Lions. We've got another travel. So the referee's calling that sort of stutter step dribble travel call quite a bit, and you do see that called at all levels, really, despite in the NBA how much traveling those guys seem to get away with. Peterson, Landy, Avery, Scott, Daniels, not any sounds of the ball touching the floor, and that is pretty offense. 10-2, ticked down to about 4 minutes. Loggins has got some trouble here, but it seems like the perfect man to get through it. Helms in the corner, pump fakes. Jackson Scott right in his face, and Helms, I guess, fell down of his own accord. And he's going to have I believe the referee called a tech on him. A little bit harsh there, but he did throw the ball back. Over at the flag behind the goal, 4:04, 10-2. Gunter Daniels will step up for a couple free throws there. Nothing but net on the first one. Coach Javier Torres for the Lions talking to the referee. Second free throw for Daniels is no good. We saw the Panthers against the Lobos on Tuesday struggle a bit from the free throw line, especially early in the game. Coach Boren calls out the play. Panthers will have it right here on the side. Daniels at the top. Peterson. Daniels. High post to Scott. Right in the corner for Landy. Beautiful shot there. As we get the call of Luke for the first time in district season. That's Dickens, who in some trouble. Here's Hopkins. Loggins on the baseline. Boy, he's very aggressive, and he'll get the and one there. Foul on Jackson Scott. We do here at the Panthers Den have indicators for fouls in terms of player and number of fouls. We'll get a 4 for 4 here as we've got Aaron Hurst, Trayvon Williams, AJ Roldan, and Eric Richardson in the game for the first time. Staying in for the Panthers was Luke Landy. Coach Torres still chatting up. You can see there at midcourt with the referee. 3:36 to go. Free throw from Loggins is no good. So AJ Roldan, 5'9" junior, will run point guard. This is Landy on the wing. Hurst, nice pass to Richardson. But some good defense there. Elijah Santana, number 0 in the game for the Lions. Some issues, I think, maybe with a shoe. It does look like Darion Loggins just needs to tie that shoe. .324 to go. Hurst is going to fire away from the corner. No good. Pretty good box out there. And I think that hit Hopkins last. Nice play by A.J. Roldan. Hit that ball off it. Oh, and I think they maybe were trying the alley-oop, and I think the referee's going to give a technical foul because Trayvon Williams grabbed the rim. So calling it close here early in the game. Coach Bourne's going to talk to Trayvon there. Yeah, and it's going to be a technical foul. So calling it both ways, I guess. Consistency there. Loggins hit the first free throw. I do wonder if they were looking for the alley-oop there. That would have been sweet. Pull something like that off. Good from the charity strike for Loggins, as referees have more to discuss. I guess the issue here is whose ball is it? If it's a technical, I think it's pretty simple at this level, is that it's just 2 free throws and the ball to the team who shot the free throws. And good defense there by Hurst on Loggins, and does get the foul. So Aaron Hurst maybe a bit frustrated. You can't put the ball in the basket quite yet, but you feel that it'll just happen eventually for a player like him. Just too prolific and aggressive on the offensive end, and we'll see if we can get first point there. And maybe I jinxed it. I will take full responsibility for that. The 6'4" senior wing, very involved here. Important player for the Panthers. It could get that one to go. Lions have a little trouble with the rebound. This is the guy they really rely on. See, everybody clears out, and Loggins kind of breaks the press on his own, but this time Williams is there to steal it, and he's going to fly and slam it down. And we've seen that, I think, maybe in every district game so far is a Trayvon Williams dunk. And it's a beauty to see. Loggins just gets through that trap, still in a ton of trouble, and Coach Torres is going to call a timeout here as Liberty Hill Panthers with the early 16-6 lead, about 2:41 to go in the first quarter. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy 2023. We're already nearly a week into 2023. It already seems like it's flying by. And it's been a good New Year so far. Good build-up into the new year for the Panthers on a bit of a hot streak here. 6 straight wins. Of course, 2 of those in district, then 4 of those in the Fredericksburg tournament right after Christmas. Coach Boren, talked to him on Tuesday, seems to have a lot of confidence in his guys and likes the adjustments he's made, especially on the press, to put Ryman at the top, and there he is. Madera back in the game too. I believe Hurst stayed in, and it's the starting group we're used to. Down low, Salas couldn't finish, but Ashton Dickens, who actually made the pass, could finish, and Panthers are going to push. 16-8 now, just about at the 2-minute mark of the first quarter, and Panthers will be patient. Nice little 1-2 game. Looked like Daniels might have come up and down. A lot of contact. It was the sophomore, 6'5", Jacob Salas in there, so we'll see what the press can do. Looks like number 3 has checked in the game, Jay Villalobos, as it was, I think that was Ashton Dickens. No, that was Trayvon Hopkins, who just sort of ran through the press, lost the ball off his foot. That is a freshman out there, Jay Villalobos, right here in the foreground. It's that 2-3 zone. Madera, tons of confidence, a little short. And Hopkins had the ball stripped, and I guess hit him last. 145. The corner, give it right back to him, and it's a strong move by Daniels, who gets called for a travel again. I think that's the right call, just took the extra step. The big body of Hopkins in his way. And look at this strange sort of press fake here. We'll see how this works for Coach Torres. And this is Villalobos. And they just get it over there to Dickens, who double dribbled and sort of gave up. Gave up on the play before the whistle went, but, you know, he realized his mistake. This will be Madera and Daniels there at the top. Again, it's a zone, but there's a free man that seems to be on Daniels, and he knocks it down. The free man wasn't with him that time. 19-8 now, and again, that press causing issues. We haven't seen, we're about not quite halfway through playing all the teams in this district. We haven't seen another team press in the way that Liberty Hill can. Trayvon Williams, you know he likes to go baseline. I thought Gunter Daniels would pull up, gets his own rebound. Lots of bodies in there, lots of black jerseys. Trayvon Williams couldn't get it to go. And that was Dickens. Villalobos gets it to Hopkins. Looking a little out of sorts without Loggins in the game. Hopkins cross court, picked off by Hurst. Got some numbers here. Ryman looks over to Williams and finishes with the offhand. Nice job by Ryman. The issue Lions have here is they have so many players forward on the press break that Liberty Hill's just playing all those passes. Villalobos across court, nearly picked off again. Some of the Lions fans didn't like that. 20 seconds now. Hopkins dealing with that close press of Madera. And errant pass here. Hopkins went down pretty hard down below us. And again, without Loggins, Elijah Santana and Darion and Jay Villalobos struggling a little bit. Panthers will retake it. Corner Madera, who knocks it down with 3 seconds to go. And Lions will have to heave this one, but it's a solid first quarter for Liberty Hill. And they take the 24-8 lead. You're watching Panthers basketball on Vype Live. And welcome back, everybody, to the Panthers Den here at Liberty Hill High School. My name is Adam Mueller. Thanks for joining us on this breezy January evening. Of course, we don't have to deal with the elements. We are inside this beautiful facility here in Liberty Hill as the Panthers with a dominant first quarter, 24-8 lead. Loggins is back in the game. There's the big fella down there, does get the foul call. Brady Stevenson back in. See who that got that foul call on. They did get it on 22. Gunter Daniels, his first foul. He's the one that stayed in the game. Actually, Trayvon Williams stayed in as well, as Stevenson can't knock down the free throw. Jackson Scott back in there. Looks like Aaron Hurst stayed as well. Paul Madera is down there talking to his coach. And fill out down here on the baseline. Hurst, Daniels. So basically it was Scott for Ryman at the quarter break, and Daniels with a sweet pass to Madera, who finishes. Loggins into the middle, Dickens, Villalobos. And that pass, ooh, Daniels knocks it out of bounds. This press just so effective for the Panthers. And there's just some man-to-man defense by Hurst. Got the deflection, Scott picks it off. Daniel swings to Madera in the corner. Daniel backs out. Coach Boren calls the play. Williams from the corner, good looking shot, couldn't get it to go. Helms the rebound and gets it to Loggins, who's gonna try and break the press all by himself. Helms on the baseline. Stevenson, Helms looks like he's a shooter. He's really looking for the three ball. Dickens has been in the lane for a while. Villalobos is gonna shoot. I think Aaron Hurst got a piece of that. Now the Panthers will break out, and ooh, oh man. Madera and Williams going for the alley-oop there. Nearly just a bit of an undercut foul. Sometimes dangerous in situations like that when you've got a guy who's flying high and the defensive player undercuts him. Actually, somewhat concerning for the Lions as Brady Stevenson's already picked up his second foul. I wonder if he's coming out. Yeah, Coach Torres is going to bring Salas back in the game. Also Villalobos checks out, and this is number 5, Chris Martinez. First time we've seen him in the game. Williams knocks down that second free throw. 27-8, and that ball looked like it was headed out. Helms had to save it. Williams do everything himself. It's a nice pass. Hurst couldn't quite finish, but Scott could. Jackson Scott, sophomore post, listed at 6'5". Such a strange press break this is. It's good hands by Madera. There'll be Stay with the Lions. Salas has got to be careful. Daniels, I think, tried to throw it at Martinez, but eventually Jackson Scott got there. Daniels with a nice right-handed finish. And that'll be 31-8, 6:03 to go. Coach Torres using a timeout here, and let's again just thank the Runnin' Panther sponsors: Liberty Hill Pediatrics, J&K Welding, Deluxe Garages, Globe Theater, and Gage and Cade Construction. Thank you to those sponsors again. So good first half so far. Of course, 2-0 in district. These Panthers beat Leander at Leander. I think we might go back and reference that victory as a big one a lot this season, 66-54. It was that Tuesday afternoon game that was so strange, the district opener. And the Lions, Leander Lions that is, certainly look like a really good contender for top of this district, and still do. Still a lot of games to be played. Of course, last week the Panthers made it 2-0 with that 105-36 victory against the Lehman Lobos at Lehman. So two good away victories for the Panthers. Looking to achieve that district title that they achieved last season. Of course, Coach Blake Boren in his first season as coach. As Loggins just goes around Madera here, but then loses the ball, maybe got a touch on Scott. Checking to see if we've got any subs here, and it doesn't look like we had any new players come in for either team, in fact. And maybe the Lions going for the alley-oop. We'll see what Madera does here. Thought he may give it back to Williams, but he keeps it himself with the lay-in. 33-8, 5:45 second quarter. Loggins, Martinez with a decent hesitation there, but Madera's with those fast hands. Hurst, Helms, Dickens with a nice little Euro step and finish with the left. How about Ashton Dickens off the bench? 6'3" junior. Hurst, Williams from the corner. Not quite get it to go. Madera and Scott fighting for the rebounds. Loggins might look to push. Gets it to Helms. And now Loggins takes a big breath. Boy, that press can really do it to you, and Williams was chasing it the whole way and finishes with the lay-in. Boy, he's got a quick first step, doesn't he? You really cannot telegraph your passes to that right side, and there's another tough full-court pass. It's Jackson Scott this time who lays it for Hurst. A little bit of patience to Williams. Now Hurst shows the drive, and the lefty finish by Daniels is pure and sweet. 4:31 to go. Second quarter. Liberty Hill Panthers 37, Lockhart Lions 10. We'll stay right here and just talk about the stats for the Panthers against the Lobos of Lehman. Really even scoreline. You know, when a team scores 105 points, especially at the higher levels these days, you know, you see the Dallas Mavericks score 130 points, and Luka Doncic has 50 of those points. Certainly not the case for the Panthers. Very even distribution, especially across the starting five, but some role players off the bench getting involved too. We'll talk about that a little bit more next time out. Some subs for the Panthers. I see Luke Landy in the game. Toby Ryman's in there. JT Peterson, AJ Roldan, and Eric Richardson. So a full new five. As Loggins gets himself in trouble, JT Peterson just steps out in front of that pass and was looking for Richardson, but he was not looking. And then fouls and points to himself, says, my bad. think you want to give it to the big fella Richardson right in the middle of the court like that. Maybe just trying to push the ball a little bit too much. Hopkins back in the game for the Lions. Big swing. Villalobos in the corner, just could not get past Richardson's big paw with the swat out of bounds. It's often something we see Gunter Daniels get a lot of, is blocks. Almost always shows up on the stat sheet. 4:06 second quarter. Helms, three-point stance, right hand, was looking for Dickens there. Couldn't quite get it to him. It was a good try, good look. Just couldn't quite execute it. 3:58 to go. Loggins to Helms, the top. Looking for the swing, gets it to Dickens. Swings to Villalobos. Couldn't quite get it to go. Dickens with a nice rebound. He's going to try and power back up. Couldn't get it to go. Eric Richardson with good defense there. Not allowing Dickens to finish. Peterson on the wing, nice pump and a nice pass. And it's the bucket for Eric Richardson, his first one of the game. Gets a cheer from the Panthers bench. Villalobos on that far side, that's Elijah Santana, number 0. Nolan Helms. Jerrion Loggins. Get the D-up call from the Panthers sideline. Love that, and that's what it can create. Good steal by Roldan to Landy, who was fouled there by Loggins. Maybe not the worst foul in the world. 39-10. Lead for the Panthers. It's going to be 2 shots for Luke Landy. Knocks down the first one. Do have some subs coming in. Looks like it'll be number 25. That's the junior Ray Avery into the game. Landy, not good on the second one. 40-10 now, and there's that long pass all the way across to Stevenson. This is Villalobos at the top now. Travion Hopkins, the senior, trying to get his guys in a good set. Santana, Hopkins, Villalobos' pass is wide. Landy will come out. Number 4, Jax Hicks, junior guard, checking into the game for the first time. Out there with Roldan, JT Peterson, Ray Avery, and Eric Richardson. Peterson with the left, Hicks, Ray Avery, Hicks again, Roldan at the top. Hicks, good patience here by the Panthers. Back to Hicks, he might fire. Roldan trying to get his guys in a good set. You see Richardson at the top, there he is right there. Gets it to Hicks, who's got some room, just a bit long. Pressuring there is Hopkins. Now Villalobos in a ton of trouble. Might have to get this across half court, and it's going to be a foul called on Jax Hicks. 40-10. 1:32 here in the second quarter. Panthers enjoy that big 30-point lead. Lobos is going to have to come get this one, and he does. And it looks like this starting group that's checked back into the game is going to put on some pressure. Madera, Daniels, Williams, Hurst and Jackson Scott back in. So starting group minus Ryman. It's that 3-2 zone. More familiar with. I have not, calling these district games, I have not seen the Panthers necessarily in a man-to-man. 58 seconds to go in this first half. Coach Boren was telling me last season that the Panthers pretty much played with 6 guys. Very different this season. Those famous 4 subs that he likes to make, and lots of guys getting minutes, and it's a really good team, really good thing for a roster. It keeps you on your toes as that pass picked off by Madera. He's got Williams flying on the left, who does the smart thing and passes it back to Madera. Little floater, can get it to go. Hurst is going to pull up and knocks it down, and there's Aaron Hurst with the jumper. And might have an injury timeout here. I think Elijah Santana was maybe hit in the head. Hopefully he's okay. Ryman in, Scott out. So now it's the starting group for Panthers. Villalobos, Hopkins, Villalobos, Salas. I don't think that one's going to count. So that'll do it for the first half. Dominant from the Panthers. They will go to the break, go to the locker room with a big 32-point lead. It's Liberty Hill 42, Lockhart 10. You're watching Running Panthers basketball on Vype Live. And we're just about ready to go for the second half here. Thanks for joining us this evening. My name is Adam Mueller. We'll be with the Liberty Hill Runnin' Panthers all district season. We look forward to these Tuesday and Friday evenings. Should be an exciting run again for the Panthers, just like it was last season. Half. Again, big spread of the scoring, just like it was Tuesday against Lehman. Gunter Daniels, 7 points. Aaron Hurst, 15. Trayvon Williams, 14. Paul Madera stands out with 18. Jackson Scott with 6. JT Peterson with 17. Hot streak in that second half. But really filling up the box in other ways as we get set. Starting group out there again for the Panthers in this third quarter. Ryman, Daniels, Madera, Hurst, and Williams. A little high-low with Ryman now, who's got to get the ball out. The low is Hurst, who gets it to Daniels. The swing to Williams. Baseline, another flush for Trayvon Williams, who's so quick on that baseline. So hard to stop. It wasn't just the points for the Panthers, though. Gunter Daniels had 8 assists. Certainly stands out. Loggins across half court wasn't a good idea. And Daniels is going to push. Gets it to Ryman, who uses that strong left side. And finishes. Lockhart still having a lot of trouble breaking the press. And they're going to have a foul called here against Madera. Aaron Hurst, 10 rebounds against Lehman. Jackson Scott, 7 rebounds, plus 6 assists. Just really filling the stat sheet, these Panthers. Doing much of the same in this game. Not one player particularly standing out on the scoring end, and that's really, in this case, a good thing. A spread of scoring, a spread of assists, a spread of rebounds. Everybody getting involved. Sense that there's a lot of depth on this Liberty Hill team in that patented 3-2 now. Lions showing a little bit more patience. Stevenson out to Helms, who does get fouled by Ryman there. Liberty Hill 14-8 overall record, 2-0 in district like we said. It's been a little bit tougher sledding for the Lions of Lockhart. They do have the one victory, but it's 1-18 overall. A couple of district losses as well. A lot of spinning there for Hopkins. Helms finally gets an opportunity to show his shooting stroke, and he does put it down, 46-13. A little bit of chaos from Hopkins actually worked pretty well. There's the swing. Williams on the baseline, kicks out to Ryman, the lefty. Couldn't get it to go. Williams back out. Madera, Williams, maybe ill-advised going to that side, and Helms gets it to, looks like that might be goaltending called on Hurst. And it's number 23, Nathan Key, the senior, who I don't believe we saw in that first half, comes out, gets a bucket. Decent start to this second half for the Lions, who actually come out in a press now. Look at this, sort of doing to Liberty Hill what the Panthers have done this whole game, but the Panthers do a little bit better there. Can't finish the layup, and some claps here on the Lions side as they've started pretty well in this second half. You can bet that the Panthers will come right back into their press. Ray Avery right there guarding the ball. JT Peterson, Luke Landy. Gunter Daniels stayed in the game. Jackson Scott checked in as well. 4 for 4. Deal from Coach Blake Boren there. Maybe that's what I'll call it now. Daniels, a little no-look. Looked like a foul there on Luke Landy, who finished with the right. Helms trying to get it to Key. Gets it to Stevenson. Hands off to Helms. Loggins at the top. With that left hand, it's a strong move to the bucket. Daniels did a good job staying upright, straight up and down. I think we're going to get a foul on the floor. And no, it's going to be an offensive call. Offensive foul call, and Gunter Daniels were clearing out with that offhand. Kind of a tough call there. Second foul on Daniels. 48-15, about 4.5 to go. Hopkins in a ton of trouble. Good hands from Peterson. Knocking the ball away. Was looking for Loggins on the wing. Lockhart also had one of those strange district games before Christmas. Took on Cedar Park. Hopkins gets around his man, and Villalobos will check in. Pretty good pass, and Stevenson couldn't handle it. And the big fella knows he should have tracked that one down. Daniels still running the point. It was a 48-38 loss to Cedar Park for the Lockhart Lions. Daniels is going to fire from the corner. Good looking shot. Ray Avery maybe was going to let that one go, but Luke Landy flew out of bounds. Subs for the Panthers. JT Peterson's going to stay. Ray Avery's going to stay. Jax Hicks, AJ Roldan, and of course Eric Richardson in the game. Still in the press, and that should be over and back. Well, maybe he's going to say Darion Loggins didn't have possession of the ball. 48-15, 3:47, third quarter. And then on Tuesday, the Lions were defeated by Leander Rouse, 89-35, as travel's called on Loggins there. That might be a team to circle in this district, just based on early results. Of course, can't say anything till everybody's played everybody, but Leander Rouse looks like they may challenge towards the top of this district. Rolled on Hicks with that left hand against the zone, sort of extended 1-3-1 maybe. Shot by Peterson, couldn't quite get it to go. I think that was Avery inside. His pass picked off by Dickens, who, good defense by JT Peterson. Boy, a lot of scrambling for the ball. Ray Avery has picked it up now. Hicks. Rolled on. Peterson. Ray Avery now playing a little bit of high post. Good ball movement from the Panthers. A lot of room here for JT Peterson with an athletic finish. We know he likes those second half runs. Lions do break the press this time. Villalobos couldn't get a foul. Boy, lots of people falling over each other there. Everybody okay, it looks like. Hicks, Peterson, nice pass. Oh, Eric Richardson just couldn't quite hold on. I think they're going to get a foul called on Elijah Santana. God, it was a good look from JT Peterson. We saw right down the line. We could see it perfectly. Last season for Lockhart, actually, of course, as we said, playing in District 17-5A, 16-17 overall, but 9-5 in district, and that's good for 4th. So this team was a playoff team last season. So that's some good defense there by Jay Villalobos. Of course, we're talking about a different year in a different district, so can't make too many assumptions on that as we tick down about 2 minutes. Starting group back in there for the Panthers, and that's Paul Madera on cue. Williams, Ryman, Daniels, Hurst. That's your lineup for the Panthers. Salas is in there for the Lions and having a tough time there in the corner. Villalobos, also Ashton Dickens, and number 4. Salas tries to finish. It's like number 4 is checked in the game. I don't have him actually listed. As Williams get to Madera in the corner, who's starting to feel it. The hot hand makes it 26-15. Santana in a ton of trouble. Actually makes a nice pass. And Coach Torres for the Lions has called timeout. So 56-15 to go here in this third quarter. And a chance for us to shout out those Running Panthers sponsors: Liberty Hill Pediatrics, J&K Welding, Deluxe Garages, Globe Theater, and Gage and Cade Construction. Thank you for your sponsorships of Liberty Hill basketball. We will look ahead. First for the Lions. They have a big game coming up on Tuesday as they host the Lehman Lobos. Two teams that need a bit of momentum in their season. And a week from now, they're at Leander, which I would assume is going to be another difficult one. For the Panthers, Tuesday, we will be back down south of Austin. So it'll be at Hayes in Buda. Another critical away game for these Panthers. And a week from now, we'll be back here as the Panthers take on Leander Glen. Nice little play there from Villalobos, but it's Ryman who pulls out the rebound, and numbers for the Panthers. Madera couldn't get the layup to go in, but Williams puts it in after him. 35 seconds now in the third quarter. Ryman with that good defense. As the Lions try and get something going on offense. A couple buckets early in this half, and that's a nice pass from Santana to Dickens, who could not finish with the right. Daniels' pass a little bit wayward. I think Madera stepped out of bounds. He did. Still in that press. It's certainly a unique way, and Madera, really nice. Knocked the ball away, then threw it off the offensive player. He is feeling it in this third quarter. 10 seconds to go. We'll see what the Panthers can create here. Hurst got some room. Swings it outside. That's Ryman with the left. Daniels read it all the way, couldn't finish. Williams still competing, but that'll do it for the third quarter. 58-15 will be your score. Panthers started just a little bit slow, but turned on the gears as that quarter went on. And we'll head into the fourth. Panthers with the big lead. You are watching Liberty Hill Basketball on Vype Live. about ready for that fourth quarter now. 58-15. Panthers ahead. And that pass picked off by Gunter Daniels, who maybe himself was looking for a dunk, and I think Darion Loggins did not want that to happen. Unfortunately got the and one, and Daniels will step to the free throw line to make it the old-fashioned three-point play. Coach Bourne was telling me as Daniels knocks down the free throw, and just like they did against Lehman at midweek, they will back off the press here in this fourth quarter. Coach Bourne was telling me Dad Barry's calling him every day. I'm sure when you have a coach that has got 20 years of experience, as the three is knocked down by Chris Martinez. So Coach Barry Bourne talking to his son, giving him tips. Blake was telling me they maybe just front-loaded the schedule for this team, so they have some difficult games early in the season. That 8-8 non-district record going into December was sort of a strange-looking number, but I think it's helped the Panthers start the season with some difficult games and be ready when it counts. And you can see it counting on the scoreboard tonight. 7 minutes in the fourth left. Still that press defense from Madera. And Aaron Hurst got a piece as Loggins drove in. Lockhart having some trouble getting the ball in. Martinez, maybe a bit of a hot hand here. Good looking shot, couldn't get it to go. Hurst will take it out with that left hand. That's Jackson Scott with a nice pass and good footwork from Gunter Daniels. Caught the pass in stride, 1-2. Laid it in, and Daniels feeling it now with the steal. Maybe we get a dunk here. Not quite. Guess you could call that a dunk. Loggins right through the middle, couldn't handle, still trying to get it. Hurst picks it up. Numbers forward for the Panthers. Williams wants to get involved in the scoring and does get fouled. Left side. Certainly next week we'd expect Hayes to provide a bit more competition for the Panthers, and I think Leander Glenn as well, as those two teams may be competing for playoff spots in the district, if I was to predict. Williams a little short on the free throw. And we've got some wholesale changes. William will stay in. Ryman back in. Landy, Roldan, and Eric Richardson. Helm, Salas, and Villalobos back in the game. Williams struggling from the free throw line last couple of games. Ryman put back no good. Helm's on the wing. We know he likes this spot. Not quite able to put it through, though. Roldan now running the point. Landy now getting into the big fella, Richardson. Good swing to Williams. And just a little bit wild, looking for Ryman. And JT Peterson's going to check in for him, and you'd expect maybe that's the last of that starting group for this ball game. Get this second group some time against the Lions. Chris Martinez with the right hand. Jacob Salas. Nolan Helms. Martinez Dickens swings Helms. Good looking shot. Boy, when he's open, he can knock those down. Peterson inside. The floater's sweet. JT Peterson. 4.5 left. Fourth quarter. Thanks for joining us this evening. The Panthers came out focused and ready to go. 3 from Helms. Maybe a little bit of heat check. Didn't even get rim. Ryman rolled on. This is Coach Boren. Make sure his guys are in the right spots. Interesting little one-handed pass from Landy there. Rolled on, not able to get it to go, and Helms can be called for a travel, a little bit harsh there, and looks like Jax Hicks is going to come in for Landy. Ryman will stay in. That ball is going to be off Dickens. White ball. I thought it was pretty funny last week when, I think it was early in the game against Lehman, the referee said blue. And you've got the Lehman Lobos who traditionally wear blue. They were in white, their home white. And Liberty Hill was wearing their purple. And when the referee said blue, he actually meant Liberty Hill, the team wearing purple. Bit of a strange mix-up there. As do have Ray Avery now in the game. Ryman has checked out. Peterson's going to try and make something happen. Avery does get the pass there. There's that high-low. And it's good defense from Martinez. Dickens will push it and finish. Under 4 now. Richardson looking for the pass. Rolled on, nice pump fake. Richardson just a little bit errant on the pass, but JT Peterson's flying around. Maybe Richardson should look at the basket. Now he will. A pretty good defense there from Jacob Salas. Not sure who that touched last. I guess it touched Dickens. 67-23, 3:21 to go. Coach Boren calling out the play. Trying to get a bit of movement and passing. Martinez with good hands. Villalobos out there. Peterson, and all of a sudden Liberty Hill having a little bit of trouble here. But this is Jack Hicks from the corner. Get it to go. Dickens out quick to Martinez, who couldn't handle it right below us. More subs here. Jackson Scott looks like he's going to come back in. So we'll see Luke Landy, Jackson Scott, Richardson, and Peterson. The Suns coming out. So it's Landy, rolled on, Hicks, Scott, and Avery. Avery now at the top. Rolled on. Pass, was it tipped? It was tipped. Good defense there. Number 23, that's Nathan Key. We saw have an early bucket in this half. Rolled on. Landy. Rolled on. Swung around now, top of the key. Jax Hicks got some room on the wing. Showing some ball handling. They're going to call the rare carry there on Jax Hicks. Just lacking a little bit of penetration right now, the Panthers, against that zone. Speaking of zones, here's that 3-2 from the Panthers. Villalobos in the corner. Martinez has been a bright spot for the Lions. He's been much better in this second half. He wants the ball, clapped for it. but Landy got over in a hurry. 1:43 left in this one. 67-23, as you can see right there on the scoreboard here on Vype Live. Again, my name is Adam Mueller. Hope you've enjoyed this game. Hope you're enjoying your Friday evening. They're maybe spending it outside, although it's getting cold pretty quickly this evening, as Landy shows some good hands. Hicks, Roldan's got room. Fires no good. Jackson Scott rebounds. Hicks with the left did get his defender to jump. I think we might get a foul call on the floor. Neither team close to bonus area. The first time we're going to see Blake Herzog, 5'11" senior, come into the game for Lions. Richardson back in there. Roldan's pass is picked off. Hard not to make comparisons, but Leander Rouse with that 89-35 victory. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we tick down about 50 seconds. Liberty Hill will walk away with a big victory themselves, and we'll look forward to that matchup. Of course, we'll look forward to every district matchup here on Vype Live as the Lions move the ball around. And I think he touched that baseline. Don't have number 4 actually listed on my roster here for the Lions. Shot from Jackson Scott's no good. Martinez now. 10 seconds left. See if they get off a shot. They didn't quite get it to go off Richardson's fingertip. 4 seconds to go. We'll have to get a shot off. Martinez is going to fire away. No good, and that will do it. So the Liberty Hill Running Panthers, another decisive victory here. That's 2 this week. Good performances from pretty much every player out there on the floor. Coach Boren got every man involved tonight. Another one of those games where each guy on the roster got some minutes, and a good victory to build that confidence, going to 3-0 in district. And 7 straight wins. The ball continues to roll for Liberty Hill. So that'll be it for us. Thanks for joining us. My name has been Adam Mueller. Again, the final here at the Panthers Den, Liberty Hill 67, Lockhart 23. This is Liberty Hill basketball on Vype Live.